I'm here. I'm here for humankind's ascension. I have been working on the vibrational level. I am here to assist those who are ready to go deeper into the light work that they're doing, who are ready to really step outside of that hamburger universe paradigm where good is above, bad is below, and we're all scrambling in between. And the universe dance, or the mirror dance floor, where
Mhm.
you live your self-worth based on what is mirrored back to you. So I'm here to assist people to step out of those paradigms and to work specifically one-on-one or in groups with those who um, have already begun to take their steps and
Mhm.
they're ready to go deeper. So I'm real clear on that. And I'm very clear on uh, assisting humankind in to accepting that we are not alone in the universe, that we have many cosmic cousins from many different dimensional spheres, that we as individuals and as people do not need to wait for governments to do the communicating for us, that we can do that communicating ourselves. That is, in essence, the core message of Stephen Greer. It's also the core message of people that are doing CE6 contact, where they're trying to use radio frequencies. I personally prefer the organic communication because it really kind of um, invites you to go deeper into that divine soul knowing of you. Well, yeah, um, when we talk about how everything is vibrational, so with sound and frequency, the accelerated molecular structure, I mean, these are all different ways that the human mind uh, tries to measure and perceive through its five senses. And if we really start to tune into our sixth sense, then we don't need to define, but it is a way of experiencing it as we are living in this biological body. Colors have their vibrational frequencies. Um, Music has its vibrational frequencies. Thought has its vibrational frequencies. Our technology emits vibrational frequencies. Everything emits and resides in a particular vibrational frequency, even in the material world. And so, for the same way that some people, I'm going to talk about senses for a second, just to speak into this whole vibrational frequency thing. Uh, some people taste food in points and circles, and they don't taste it by tastes, where most people do. That's just how they experience it. But even if you look at tastes in your taste buds, you're those are all vibrational frequencies that you've interpreted to be sweet, sour, um, hot, cold. And when you look at the recording that I did on the Kabbalion, and it talks about polarity, and when you're using the principle of polarity to move from one vibrational frequency to another, and it's all along that pole. So hot and cold, that's temperature. So we can look at temperature and call it that. It's a vibrational frequency. Cold is one end of that spectrum. So these are all different ways of uh, being able to speak into, feel into, and interpret vibrational frequencies. If you can let go of the need to interpret that in specific words, then you start to experience all of this on a much more intuitive level, and it's much richer. That's why a lot of times when I'm speaking with a client's divine soul and I'm in communion with their divine soul, I ask how I serve. Their divine soul knows everything that's going on with the client, conscious and subconscious. And then they'll tell me, please hold these particular vibration frequencies and then suggest this line of thought. so that the human aspect can feel into it. And that's a vibrational frequency that marries with the frequency that the divine soul is asking me to hold. And they're all different levels of unconditional love. The two are together, and poof, that's how you get the transformation into illumination. Because the ego intellect has said yes to it, has thought in that direction. Because remember, divine light flows where your attention goes, and it manifests where your intention allows. So your intention holds it and you allow it. That's how unconditional it is. And that's the amazing power that we have. And so when we're working with divine light for transformation into illumination, if you're doing that individually, that's what you're doing, is you're aligning, you're deciding, what am I releasing? And then you're lining up with this unconditional love, and then you're letting go. And if I'm working with a client, I'm just magnifying everything for you, and I'm helping your ego intellect to direct the thoughts of what is ready to be released and transformed. When you start really listening to your divine soul, it's all vibrational. That's why the first thing that I teach when I'm teaching someone to really listen to their divine soul knowing is yes and no. And the yes has got a vibrational expansion to it, a no has nothing to it, or even a slight contraction if it's saying, whoa, that's really in the wrong direction. And once you get that basic yes, then you'll start to understand what's a yes but or a yes and. Yes, and then a whole chatter thing, and it'll be this whole movement in different parts of your body. And it's through trial and error you learn that language, and it is all vibrational. And so once you're at that point, when you're in contact, or when I'm in contact with these cosmic cousins, and we have conversations, it's all on that divine soul level. And then I understand the vibrations. And sometimes it'll come in through a song, sometimes it'll come in through a direct thought. But the telepathy that I have with them now isn't the telepathy where a thought is placed in my head. Every once in a while it is, but not often. Usually the telepathy is on that vibrational scale because I'm accustomed to speaking and listening on that level. And like I said, it's much richer. That's why it's really, really important that anyway, for humankind, on the very base level, you step out of the mirror dance floor and you step into that cosmic consciousness of you, or that divine love or divine soul knowing of you. And so, just to do a real quick translation, when you feel the movement of divine light, that could be perceived as Holy Spirit moving through you. To translate that into your language, if you resonate with the Christian languaging, and what I call our divine soul knowing, Jesus referred to as the Father within. So he was saying, it's not me who does the work. It's not the ego intellect, the human thing that you see in front of you. It's the Father within me. And so that's what I call the divine soul knowing. And I was guided to call it the divine soul knowing simply because I was also guided to use a languaging that was as neutral as possible, that somebody would have to move into a little bit and then they could translate into where they are. Let's go back to when we talk about communicating and opening ourselves up to having communications with these cosmic cousins. You absolutely, positively, 100% need to be out of your ego intellect and into the flow of cosmic love or divine light and the flowing of divine light. And this is why that basic activation of divine light vibrations meditation is just so important, because not only is it activating the different sacred geometry aspects of the human experience without speaking into it exactly. With practice, you'll start to perceive it and you'll understand it. But it helps your ego intellect to remember to look within and to let love flow. And the more you let love flow, then the more refined those vibrations become automatically. You've never been separated from it. Divine light is equally everywhere present. It created all things. So you are never separated from it. But you've got the free will, the free choice to pretend that you are separated from it. You're not, But if you hold that paradigm that pretends that you're separated from it, then you'll act as if you're separated from it. And the actions create the cause and effect. For every action, there's a reaction. And for a reaction, it creates a new action. And that's how you create the chain of your reality. And this is why I often talk about that stop, look, let, love. And it's valid for no matter where you are in your process. So when you're wanting to open yourself up to really commune with our cosmic cousins, then it's absolutely 100% non-negotiable important to, for that moment in time, step out of your ego intellect.
Thank you so much for listening, and thank you so much for being interested in learning on how to live your light more fully and freely with emotional freedoms that you haven't even yet begun to dream of. And that gives you the courage and clarity to live your divine soul purpose. Now, just so that I play well with the algorithms here on YouTube, be sure to like the video. Please leave me a comment, because I do love more two-way conversations, and subscribe if you want to stay in touch with any of the new material that I'm putting out there.